20 years. What's going on, everybody? Shit, I should probably get my PNG going on. Since we're PNGing again. There we go, there it is. I got your hydrate right here, Briggs. I got your hydrate for you. I know I can't show you, but I promise you I'm drinking water because I actually do love water. So today is Half-Life 2's 20th anniversary. Today is the 20th anniversary of one of my top 5 favorite games of all time, if not top 3 favorite games of all time. I absolutely adore Half-Life, especially 2 and the episodes forward. These games mean a lot to me, especially with how just like how much they sort of like shaped my perspective on what a good game should be as a kid. Because I was like 11 when Half-Life 2 came out. I'm 31 now, so that's 20 years ago. I played it originally on the orange box on the Xbox 360, so I didn't play it exactly 20 years ago. I played it in 2007 or so. I remember getting, I remember when the orange box came out, I really wanted to get it, and I found some money outside of my school on the ground, and I took it home, and then Grandma Lunar told me to take it back to the school and turn it in, and so I did, and because I was an honest boy, with the guidance of Grandma Lunar, I got to keep the money because no one claimed it, and then with that money I went and bought the orange box, and it was one of the first games I ever bought, and I fucking played the shit out of the orange box. I thought, you know what, that's 5 games in one. We got Half-Life 2, Episode 1, Episode 2, Portal 1, and TF2, even though the Xbox version of TF2 wasn't that great. Either way, it was pretty sick to be able to like own those games and play them all. Just totally one of my all-time favorite games, and I am excited for the future of Half-Life. I don't know if anyone here has seen the documentary, but it's very heavily implied that they are working on a new Half-Life, especially with how some of the games have been since then. We'll just say, that's all we'll say. They are definitely doing stuff at Valve that is more than hardware and collecting money. They are actually making video games finally, again, which is really nice because they're one of my favorite developers. And Deadlock has been like incredible. I've been really enjoying Deadlock. Highly recommend checking out Danny's documentary, the No Clip Secret Tape documentary that Valve put out with the help of Danny O'Dwyer. Highly recommend that. Let's play some Half-Life 2. Let me boot that up. I'm gonna go through the commentary. I've been doing the commentary run. They added commentary to the base Half-Life 2 game for like the 20th anniversary. The whole game has commentary. It's like those nodes that they put in episode 1 and 2, as well as some of the other games. Wait, I gotta pause this music. And yeah, it is definitely deserved, Briggs, for sure. I just saw that message just now. I was so caught up in my Half-Life speech that I did see that, but even also with the game, they have made episode 1 and 2 inside of, like, it's all one thing now. They delisted episode 1 and 2 on Steam. It's all on Half-Life 2's executable now. And same with Lost Coast, and Workshop is on there too now as well. You can do the Workshop stuff, which is kind of cool. They cleaned it all up. They also improved the graphics, even though, like, I don't know, like, I might be tripping, but the face models look a lot better. But other than that, they did improve a lot of the graphics. It's not exactly a Source, it's not on Source 2, but it's like an improvement to the graphics they claim. And so far it does look like as such. So I'm gonna just load my game, because I was playing some of this last night. I'm in Root Canal right now. Oh, I'm getting some, like, weird brightness. I think it's my monitor. Hold on. Let me see if HDR is turned on or not. Okay, HDR is not turned on. Is it sure? Okay, good. Let me check the video. I don't want that. Okay, there we go. Like, even the textures on the walls look better. I don't know, they just look more crisp.
Soundscapes. In Half-Life 1, ambient sounds were placed by hand and then individually tuned. For Half-Life 2, we wanted more ambient sounds in our environment with higher quality and less manual effort for placement. So we built a system that we call the soundscape system. A soundscape is basically a small program that controls which ambient sounds play, where they come from, and then how they behave in a specific environment. So flies buzzing, wind blowing, birds, a distant train, distant combat. The soundscape system could then randomly select and play these sounds, and also, really importantly, handle the smooth transition as the player moves through environments. Soundscapes can also contain other soundscapes, and that allows us to create reusable collections of sounds. So for instance, distant combat might be small arms fire, distant explosions, a passing helicopter. And these soundscapes would dynamically assemble and play from many individual sounds, and that helps us avoid the artificial feel of a single looping track. Overall, the soundscape system was a real workhorse for audio in Half-Life 2, and pretty much responsible for every sound you hear that isn't directly driven by gameplay.
Thank you, Briggs. I appreciate you letting me know that. I'll move it closer to me. I really wish I had my mic arm. I broke my microphones. I broke my microphone holder, so I don't have an arm for it anymore. Hold on, let me see if I can turn it down. Can you still hear me okay? Testing, testing. You were asked for my last email. Okay, yeah, you can hear me? Awesome. How's the keyboard sounds? Is the keyboard still really loud? Because I can't really adjust it any more than this. Not as bad? Not as loud? Okay. Hopefully it's okay. We're good? Okay, perfect. I really need to get a new microphone stand. Maybe when I get paid, I'll get a new microphone stand.
Through. Be glad you're not the guy they're looking for. Poor bastard doesn't stand a chance. Sounds like calling in every CP unit in City 17.
Manhack Map. We called this guy Manhack Map. We wanted to give players the sense that hundreds of citizens inhabited the hidden nooks and crannies of City 17. At this point in the game, it had been a while since players had seen a citizen, and we wanted to explain the significance of the Manhacks, which was the first physics-based enemy that we created. In the original concept, there was a video arcade in the city where players could fly manhacks around to attack virtual citizens. Eventually, players would discover that the manhacks were real, and so were the citizens. As the Combine occupation became more fleshed out, this idea of a video arcade became an odd fit and eventually fell by the wayside.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's kind of neat. There's a lot of stuff I'm learning about this game, honestly, just from playing it with this new commentary they added. How's your morning going, Briggs? Hope you're having a good morning. I guess it's afternoon there now, but still 9:46 here. Hope you're having a good afternoon. Doing alright, woke up without an alarm, got no plans for days looking up. Hell yeah, man, that sounds good. Sounds awesome. I gotta turn this game down for me. Just turn it down a little bit, there we go. As much as I love this song. Huh. I forget what to do here. It's been a minute since I've been in this area. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, I woke up around 7 a.m. I want to say. I've been getting up a lot earlier lately. I'm actually on a normal sleep schedule, finally. It's been really nice to be able to just get up and start my day early and go to bed early for once in my life. Oh shit. First death of the game, actually. I hadn't died up until then. I always get stuck here for some reason, like not knowing where to go. I don't know why. I'm getting some like weird darkness, brightness issues with this game. I don't know why, but I think it's my monitor. It's really weird, like the monitor itself like dims fully. It's really weird. I'm gonna check the brightness. Weird. Yay, get shit on! Nerd. There we go. Shit, I'm almost out of health. And this game is so fucking good, dude. Oh, we got a little commentary note again.
Explosive Barrel Factory. This room, filled with an absurd number of exploding barrels, inspired some good-natured debate within the team around how far to push the plausibility of our world. Frankly, one exploding barrel is probably too many in regards to realism. In the real world, barrels really shouldn't explode, even if you were to shoot them.
Oh shit. I'm gonna see something here. Let's go Alt Enter. No, that's not the one. Alt Enter, no. Options, video, advanced. Let's try full screen.
Explosive.
We really did that. I really wish I had some health. I would really love health. That would be amazing. I would love that. Wouldn't that be fucking awesome, y'all? Wouldn't that be just like the total like amazingness? I wish that was the case. That would be amazing. Oh my god. I might need to load a previous save. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna look something up. Because this brightness dimming is really driving me nuts. Are we good? I'm gonna check my monitor. Oh, it could be an HDR issue. That's probably what it is. Do I have HDR turned off? I want to turn that shit off. I have nothing but issues with HDR on Windows 11. Okay, high dynamic range is disabled. Hello, Dumpster Game. How are you? It's the 20-year anniversary for Half-Life 2 today. So we're playing the big update that they put out. Let's see. No, we don't want high dynamic range. Fuck off with that shit. I don't want your high dynamic range nonsense. I'm gonna try something. Maybe I should have it on? Because it's like better now. It's actually like way better now. It's like not dimming anymore. How's it going, DG? That works so about that well. Fuck. Oh my fucking god, dude. I've played this game so many times. I should be able to get past this. Holy shit, man. All I do is work, 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 work.
Explosive
That's
barrel.
all I
factory.
ever do is I already read that this one.
Explosive barrel.
Okay, I'm gonna stay here with this save. And let's try exploding one of these barrels and then go down. Man, man hacks are so annoying, dude. Now I forget what we're supposed to do here. Oh yeah, it's over here. Now I remember. I think. I think. Oh my god. Jesus. Oh god. Happy 20th birthday, Half-Life 2. Hey, look, it's a valve. Get it? Do you get it? I think you get it. Oh, I'm dying. I'm dying, y'all.
rising water. The floating bridge and wooden spools here introduce the concept of buoyancy as a tool for the player. In this case, it's not really a puzzle. It's just some fun for the player interacting with the physics system. But later, we revisit this gameplay element in the canals to raise a ramp for the airboat.
Oops, wrong way.
Rendering systems. In the early 2000s, we couldn't afford a general-purpose renderer with the broad capabilities of a modern engine. Instead, CPU, GPU, and memory limitations required highly specific solutions to rendering challenges so we could squeeze every bit of performance out of a player's hardware. As a result, Half-Life 2 actually has 3 different rendering engines. One for world geometry, another for outdoor terrain, and a third for dynamic entities like characters and objects. These 3 renderers had to support a complicated matrix of features: collisions, ray traces, decals, offline lighting, visibility calculations, and more. On top of that, each renderer needed to support DirectX 7, 8, and 9. The differences among these DirectX versions were significant, often requiring different data storage and rendering approaches. They even used different programming languages. Altogether, we essentially had 9 different renderers, each needing unique solutions, and getting them all to look consistent was one of the most challenging tech problems we faced during development.
Stay away from the summoner! Oh man. Come on. God damn it. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my god, you're kidding me, right? Oh well. Oh, we got poison. We got gas! Got that gas, that ass gas! Assy gassy.
GPU Wild West. During development, we faced numerous decisions influenced by our choice of minimum spec, the least powerful CPU and GPU combination that would still deliver a good experience for customers. In the early 2000s, there was far more variety among GPUs than today, with wide differences not only in speed, but in fundamental approaches to rendering. But at the time, we had no real data on the hardware our customers were using. What CPUs and GPUs did they have? How much RAM? Which version of Windows? We reached out to Microsoft hoping they might know answers to questions like, how many DX7 cards are in use? Or DX8? Unfortunately, they didn't have the data either. Realizing we were at risk of making bad decisions without these insights,
Microsoft doesn't
we developed
even
an
have
analysis
the data.
tool that allowed
That's
players
funny.
to report their hardware specs to us and
Oh my
integrated
God.
it into the early version of Steam. The data was so useful that we decided to make it public, launching the Steam hardware survey in
That's
April
what I was
2003.
gonna say. Like they probably.
It's been helping us and hopefully other developers make informed decisions ever since.
That's probably why they started the. I was gonna say that's probably why they started the hardware survey, and then they just said that's why they started the hardware survey on Steam.
Dynamic shadows. With a focus on character and physics objects, we felt a dynamic shadow system was necessary to render them all in all their glory. In 2003, GPUs didn't have any dedicated shadow capabilities that they have today, so performance was a tricky problem. Our eventual solution went something like this, running every frame. First, find all the objects that might have shadows in view. Doing this meant figuring out which objects were in the view frustum, or slightly behind it, to catch entities that were off-screen but whose shadows might end up on-screen. Then we'd render a black shadow version of each one of those objects into a single shadow texture.
Yeah,
for that render, we'd use the lowest level of detail model for the object to be as fast as possible. Finally, we'd use the shadow texture to draw each of the shadows into the player's view, darkening the already rendered pixels. We carefully cut around each shadow in that shadow texture to ensure that they correctly overlaid each other in the case where multiple shadows overlap. It's neat to look back on how we did these things, but ultimately we're a lot happier today, where GPU hardware makes it a much more straightforward problem.
Headcrab canisters. Used headcrab canisters are seen later in Ravenholm, so we decided to show them here to tell the story of how they're used by the Combine. The story is that the Combine have weaponized Zen fauna to use them against the humans. Burrowed headcrabs was added as a new feature for this section that was expanded into a larger area that is meant to show a citizen shanty that was decimated by
the white
headcrab
Steam
assault.
Deck looks cool. The only thing I have with those is that my hands get like grubby sometimes, so I wouldn't want it showing up on there because those things are like stain magnets and like dirt magnets. So if my hands were like ever grubby and I held it, it would just go into the creases and get all gross and grimy. And you obviously it would show that, it would do that on the black Steam Deck, but you don't see it as much. See, yeah, it's the same Steam Deck too. It's just a different shell. But yeah, it does look really cool. Same Deej. That's basically where I eat, is at my computer. I have decided to stop buying as many games now and just play the games I have because, like, money's really tight. So I've just been trying to save money as much as I can and just play the games I already own. Let's go to the room, the cats of the dining table. Nice. Nice. The kitty cats to the dining table. I just can't do it anymore at all. Like,
dynamic shadows. With a focus on character and physics objects, we felt a dynamic shadow system was necessary to render them all in all their glory.
Not that far back.
In 2003, GPUs didn't have any dedicated shadow capabilities that they have today, so performance was a tricky problem.
Next year is really gonna hurt my wallet with games, because there's gonna be a shit ton of games coming out next year. Just looking at the release calendar is crazy, and there's more games to be announced too coming out soon. And the chance of there being a Half-Life 3 in development is like, holy fuck. Like, with that documentary they released that Danny O'Dwyer released yesterday through Valve, they're definitely working on Half-Life 3 with how it ended. How the documentary ended. And that makes me happier than a pig in mud.
Hey, Dr. Freeman. I've been
Yo,
hoping
what's
you'd
up?
show up. Got this airboat all gassed up and ready to go.
Gas!
Tough dodging civil protection out there.
Gas,
Hard
gas!
and you'll make it. You'll find more help up at Station 7. Just a few bends up the river. It's the old red barn. Climb on in. Fire her up.
Very exciting indeed, Deech.
Airboat intro. This is where the player gets the first vehicle of the game, the airboat. We wanted to create a safe space for players to practice driving the airboat for as long as they wanted before moving on. The arena is sprinkled with opportunities for jumps and tricks, and we filled the arena with toxic slime to keep players in the airboat longer, while preventing them from leaving the vehicle behind and progressing forward on foot.
Oh, that's really smart that they did that. That's why the toxins are here. So that people don't actually
Climb
leave
on
the
in.
airboat.
Fire
That's
her
actually
up.
smart.
Combinatorial shader explosion. Rendering became much more complex during Half-Life 2's development with the addition of hardware shaders, small bits of code controlling how each pixel on a surface should render. In 2003, shaders were far more limited than today. Half-Life 2 era shaders lacked conditionals and had severe code size restrictions. This meant no if-else branching logic to adjust based on different conditions, and no large shaders with broad feature sets. Also, compiling shaders as needed was just too slow to be useful, so we had to pre-compile them. To work within these limits, we had to compute every possible shader combination and store each one individually as its own shader. For example, if a shader affected a surface based on a single light source, we'd need another shader version for 2 lights, another for 3, and so on. And it was combinatorial. If that shader also supported a normal map, we'd need 2 versions per light, one with a normal map and one without. With features like texture blending, vertex tinting, specular highlights, alpha testing, and various other light types, directional point and spotlights, our shader count exploded. By release, we had thousands of individual shaders. Shortly after, we released Lost Coast adding HDR support, which doubled the shader count again. Once compiling shaders on the local developer's machine started taking too long, we switched to distributing the shader compiles over the entire network using VMPI. We also had a dynamic shader compilation mode that was useful for developing shaders that gave fast turnaround at the expense of frame rate hitching when a shader had to be compiled.
Holy shit.
Fighting motion sickness. In early playtesting, many players developed motion sickness while driving the airboat. While trying to fix this, we discovered several factors that contributed to it. We found that reducing the intrusion of the airboat into the view helped, so we made several passes on the model to pare it back. Maintaining a consistent frame rate helped as well, so it was important to keep an eye on performance in these sections. However, the single most important factor was eliminating view roll to maintain a more stable horizon no matter what the airboat was doing. One of the programmers on the team was super prone to motion sickness, and they valiantly offered to playtest several times to test our progress towards a solution. I'm pretty sure they threw up at least once after playtesting, and their noble sacrifice was hugely appreciated.
Their noble sacrifice was hugely appreciated. Oh, that's fucking gold, dude. Oh my god, that's amazing. Oh god. Yeah, me too, Deej. And this is a new one. This is all this commentary is from yesterday's update. They put in a huge update for this game yesterday because it's the 20th anniversary. So they added commentary to all of Half-Life 2, and now the episodes are a part of Half-Life 2. Like you don't launch the episodes separately. It's all in one executable now. Yeah, it's pretty dope. Whoa, I got like flipped around there. That was weird. Oh, hell yeah, DG. The Portal 1 and Portal 2 dev commentary. I would love a Portal 3 as well. Not only would I love a Half-Life 3, I would love a Portal 3 so much. I recently replayed all of the Half-Life games and Portal 2. And I just, those games, Portal is incredible, especially Portal 2. Kill for another one of those. They've said recently they have ideas for a Portal 3, or Eric Wolpaw or something said that. Or I think that's their name. Or his name. It's just amazing built upon the back of one. Exactly. I just find that it's like a lot more, it has a lot more character than one for some reason for me. I feel like it's more smooth and polished than one was, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but one was a classic for sure too. The second half of Portal 2, yeah, it's really good. When they totally open it up. I want the next Portal game to be like no test chambers. To just be all like random environments. That would be so cool. Just like the whole game be the back half like that. That would be amazing.
Airboat time. Finding the right balance between vehicle time and time on foot took some work. Driving at full speed propelled players through the world quickly, and in early playtests we felt that players were missing out on exploring and taking in the game's detail. Exploration and world examination are core values of Half-Life, so we didn't want the vehicle to eliminate that. To address this, we added periodic spots where players could get out and explore small pockets of dense detail. Additionally, as the physics system evolved, we were learning new ways to use it. These spots off the airboat let us introduce an element of discovery around physics, like dropping crates into the water or combining barrels to raise a ramp. This gave players a chance to interact with water and physics in different ways.
Yeah, that would be cool, DG. The GLaDOS. Take a GLaDOS. I know there's an achievement on this chapter that I'm missing. I want to get it.
Hey down there! Supplies!
Oh, thank you.
Look out below!
Oh, thanks, man.
Floating supplies. In the alpha playtest, the canals were sprinkled with floating supply crates that players could smash with the airboat to collect the supplies inside. The mechanics were somewhat gamey, but helped keep the flow of the gameplay going, allowing the player to resupply on the go. To help make the premise more plausible, we wanted to tell the story of how the floating crates ended up so conveniently placed along the player's path. This scene of the citizens dropping supply crates helped sell that fiction, while also making the canals feel more alive. It also made players feel more heroic and important to be helped by so many supporting characters.
Bro, fuck off. This is where the achievement is. Maybe. Yes, maybe? I don't know. Hold on, let's see. Shit. No, never mind.
Zombie surprise. There's a little bit of a cheeky jump scare in this sewer pipe. Players wander in here, all focused and curious, and then an underwater zombie pops up, almost always scaring the pants off of playtesters. One fell completely out of their chair, and we marked that moment as a success.
Hell yeah. The original omnidirectional movement, Half-Life. Actually, no, that would be Doom. The original first-person shooter. Oh, Bill, I've been meaning to message you because I know you're a Half-Life fan. What do you think of the? Did you see the documentary? Holy fuck, dude! They're so making Half-Life 3, dude. They're so making Half-Life 3, it's not even fucking funny, man. Like, we're so back. We're so fucking back, dude. I'm like so stoked, man. I was like so happy. Oh my god, it was really good. Me too. I really like. I've been watching, I don't know if you know Tyler McVicker, but he does like reports on Half-Life and Valve and all that. And he's done some like data mining. Yeah. Yes. And like it really seems like they're making Half-Life 3. So if they are, I'll cry, dude. I need that closure. I need that fucking closure so bad. Like Half-Life Alex was in hopes at it, but with the way it ended, it added for more closure. He's been stringing me along for over a decade, but seeing a lot of shit from the dog made it pretty real. For sure. For sure. Yeah, he kind of does that, it seems like. I've kind of noticed that. I actually just recently found him through the recent leak from like the Half-Life 3 news or whatever, but they gotta be working on something over there. Because I mean, they're making Deadlock right now, like, they're back to making games again, which is kind of nice. and like just with like how Half-Life Alex ends, they wouldn't end the spoilers for Half-Life Alex. I'm gonna jump around it, but they wouldn't end Half-Life Alex the way they did if they knew they were gonna if they knew they were gonna follow it up with something, you know. Like, they've already learned that mistake in the past with episode 2's ending. I don't know how much of that is just me coping, but still, I want that ending. I want that closure, that 20-year-long closure. Bill is here, DG. I do and I don't. Yeah, part of it's like you just want it to be left in the past kind of thing, but... It's kind of fun to be excited about it, you know? That's part of the whole fun in it. The future. Looking forward.
Grenade intro.
Like, once it finally comes out, people are just going to be like, now what? You know, that's all people are going to think, unfortunately.
Introducing them here in infinite supply crates to signal that it's safe for players to use grenades freely without fear of running out. Go wild. The Combine encounter here uses extensive markup to direct the soldier AI towards cover and provide good opportunities for players to make use of grenades. At the end of the area, the same infinite grenade technique helps players resolve the turret placement, as a direct assault is a lot more difficult if you don't.
From the biolab to the
a bright
bathroom
red light and a
drop
particle
signal.
trail were added to the grenades, making it significantly easier for players to follow their trajectory, whether they're throwing them or dodging one from a Combine soldier.
I usually do episode. Oh, she. A little bit last night, I realized I'm resting on the speedrun bunny hop. Yes. I'm very bad at that myself as well. Yeah, when I launched the game, I saw you had some recent playtime. It's funny, I actually played through this game and the episodes early, like literally 6 months ago. And the episode's like 3 months ago, so all of this is kind of new to me again. Even though I played it like years ago, so I recently replayed it because I already knew the 20th anniversary was coming up. I really should have waited though for this huge update.
Air resistance. One important feature we had to add to our physics engine for Half-Life 2 was air resistance. At the time, physics engines would typically implement a general damping feature for slowing objects down as they moved. But this merely removes energy in a symmetric way. In order to create a more believable motion, we decided to simulate air resistance instead. This allowed us to get asymmetric behavior, where the amount the object was slowed by moving through the air was different depending on how much surface area of the object was facing the direction of movement or rotation. This feature was key to making explosions and objects thrown by the gravity gun look believable. Fast-moving and fast-spinning objects are among the most expensive things to simulate in Half-Life 2's physics engine, so air resistance also improves CPU performance in cases like explosions. It is also key to presenting different materials and masses of objects. More dense objects can push aside air more easily, and this is visible. Having this effect in the simulation helps make the difference in density between cardboard boxes and wooden planks more apparent, and really helps make the objects in Half-Life 2's world much more convincing.
Because for a few years on my own time, I was trying to get really good at speedrunning, but I gave up in like 2021. Dude, that's awesome that you were speedrunning this game. I've always wanted to get into speedrunning. I hope... what was your like fastest time that you got on this? I'm like so bad at... I take forever to finish games no matter what. I'm like so bad. I'm so bad at finishing games.
Puzzle layers. Because players are often totally unaware of the designer's intent, which we think is a good thing, they tend to respond in all kinds of surprising ways to our puzzles. Even seemingly simple puzzles can see countless failures along the way to success. That was the case with this puzzle to open the canal gates, which required many layers of hints and cues. The sparking wheel communicates that this is where someone would normally open the gate, but some other method is needed. A few crows draw the player's eye towards the solution, in this case, a bundle of girders on a pendulum. As grenades have been thoroughly introduced, we originally wanted players to throw one to break the wooden support structure, but that wasn't obvious enough. We added exploding barrels as a much
rabbit hole. I
clearer
can tell you
clue.
exactly how long
But even after solving the puzzle, some players didn't realize that the gates were not open, which led them to endlessly explore the base interior looking for another exit. So we had to remind them of their original problem, the broken gate. We added smoke, the alarm klaxon, and a spinning light, and it was then that we finally started seeing reliably good results in playtesting.
My friend Court did Resident Evil 1 speedrunning for a bit. It was fun to watch. He plays like 98th for his highest. Nice! That's fucking awesome. That's really good. I always die here. I always fucking die in this area.
Air resistance.
Oops, wrong save. Is there any more health over here? Oh, there is. Sick. Oh my god, man. I forget how good the AI is in this for a 2004 game. It's crazy how advanced their AI was. Fastest on that version of Source was 3 hours. Oh my god, Bill, that's really good. 3 hours, 24 minutes, and 11 seconds. That is really good, man. Takes me like fucking 15, 16 hours to finish this game on a good day. That's awesome. Oh my god, I hate this part so much. This is always my skill check, and I always fuck it up. Wish I streamed back then I gave it up and started streaming and stuff. Okay, gotcha. That's really cool, though. Like, that's a fun hobby, right? No, that made sense. No, don't worry, I got you. I fucking hate this room so much. I'm gonna try something. Fuck! God damn it. Oh my god. Oh dear lord. I wish I streamed when I was trying to speedrun it, so I was doing all the research and shit to get my time down, but gave up. Then I actually started streaming when I should have been the Half-Life 2 speedrun streamer. Yeah, that would be cool. You can always try again, though. You never know. You can always get back into it. I'd watch you stream Half-Life 2. Oh, it sounded like 38. Oh yeah, they do all like the what do they call it? Geometry, like when they go inside the level and no clip and all that shit. They like cut through the level. Yeah, I've seen some of the crazy speedruns. I'm assuming was your run glitchless? Or what did it have? Did you use any glitches as well? Not hacks, but like did you like go through walls and shit like that? Like that was making void clip, okay. There is an achievement on this level, and I'm trying to find where it is because I don't have it. I had it on Xbox 360 when I first played Half-Life 2 on the Orthodox one. Yeah. It's crazy how some of the speedrunners do now. As you can tell, I might go to the speedrunner of this game. Oh my god, man. I might need to load another save. Yeah, I'm gonna need to load another save. I should just keep going. I really need to pee. Give me 1 sec. I gotta pee. I gotta piss my brains out. I am back. I have returned. Thank you, Bill. I always fuck this up, man. Yeah, this part I always fuck up. I don't know why. I'm just gonna go back. Oh god, no, we're loading a different site. Arrgh! Oh my god, is there no other save? Okay, I gotta go back. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and heal. That's all? Oh, fuck. We're so cooked. We're so fucking cooked, Brain Freeze. Welcome on in, Brain Freeze. I just realized they added all the achievements from episode 1 and 2 to this update of Half-Life 2, so I gotta go do that all over again, which I'm good with. I think if you download episode 1 and 2 separately, if they're in your library, your achievements will transfer over. Yeah. I think that's what, you just have to download episode 1 and 2. Like, because they delisted episode 1 and 2 from the store, but if you already had it before, then you just have to download them and do the Steam Cloud stuff, and they'll sync. I might have to go back. I might have to go back to an older save. Yeah, I think that's good. Where's my boat? I want my boat. Now I know there's an achievement on this level called Vortikov. I just don't know where it is.
Metrocop strafing. The initial design of the airboat levels aimed to challenge players with tight maneuvers under pressure from Metrocops. The Metrocop strafing fire pattern was meant to make players slalom around the shots as they sped through, but in a review process, internally known as Overwatch, some playtesters felt frustrated being shot at without a way to retaliate. They wanted the airboat to feel powerful and unstoppable. Based on that feedback, we refocused the levels to emphasize empowerment over challenge, shifting from dodging attacks to fast-paced combat, speed, and busting through barriers.
That's cool. There we go. Finally we're past that part. Oh dear God! Always forget about that. Oh shit. Oh boy. Oh, we're coming down. Breaker 912. Oh shit. See me rolling, baby. All achievements are now back with Gucci. Nice. Hell yeah. Once I check Steam after, it's gonna say Bill has unlocked like 80 achievements in Half-Life 2. I'm gonna look at that right now, see if it actually says that. Let's see. It does. It literally shows. It shows that you achieved these many achievements plus 29 more. That's amazing. That's fucking awesome. You've been going hard on that Half-Life 2. Good job, Bill. Fucking proud of you, man. Black Mesa co-op server. Oh, Black Mesa has co-op now?
.3D skybox.
Honestly, I think
We've always
Half-Life
needed to render a
2
world
kind
that
of stands
feels
on its
larger
own.
than our map limitations allow.
So,
in Half-Life 1,
because
we used
my
a
first
map
Half-Life
texture to
game
let
was
players see
Half-Life
beyond
2.
the playable area. But in Half-Life 2, we wanted
Half-Life
that
1's
view
really
into the
good,
larger
too.
world to be dynamic, not just a static texture. Our map size limitation was about half a mile in each dimension, but we realized we could create a much larger outer world if we stored it at a reduced scale. So, we invented what we called the 3D skybox. The 3D skybox is a small box hidden within the actual game map containing geometry at 1/16th scale. Inside it, a reference point corresponds to a matching origin in the main map. Then, when we render the space beyond the playable area, we use the geometry from the 3D skybox, positioned by that reference point and scaled up 16 times. Getting the lighting and fog to blend seamlessly across the transition from the main map to the skybox presented some sticky challenges, but it worked.
Sticky.
The result made the world feel significantly larger and more immersive than it had in Half-Life 1.
.357 Intro. The Magnum, unlike the basic handgun with its slower rate of fire, is meant to be fired in a more measured, calculated way, dealing catastrophic damage to your target. Earlier versions of the Magnum had a bit of random dispersion, which we felt fit the heft and the less sensitive trigger pull of a larger pistol. However, this led to anticlimactic moments where players would carefully line up a shot only
God,
to
this
miss due to
game
the
is so
accuracy
fucking
penalty.
good, man.
To address this, we made the first bullet perfectly accurate,
Holy
with each
shit.
subsequent shot becoming less accurate as you blasted away.
VMPI. During development, we became increasingly frustrated with our slow gameplay iteration speeds, mainly because map compilation, needed to pre-compute lighting and visibility, was taking hours. Computers in 2000 were far slower than today's, and they had only a single CPU core each. Inspired by SETI at Home, a distributed program that used PCs worldwide to analyze radio waves for signs of extraterrestrial life, we built VMPI, which was our own distributed system that spread the map compilation process across many office computers. Today, these kinds of distributed systems run on giant GPU clusters, but at the time we just ran it on all the computers in our office. To deal with how our lighting code was evolving as quickly as our maps were, VMPI also distributed new EXE files to everyone's computer too. In retrospect, this was a pretty terrifying security concept, just awfully bad. It's like the stuff of nightmares for IT folks, because we were sending an arbitrary executable to all of our work PCs, and they would just run it. It was absolute madness. But it worked for us, and it did significantly increase our map iteration speed, and as a result, it ended up being a crucial tool.
I hate this part so much.
357
Half-Life 1 is
intro.
still great, but Black Mesa just
The
did
Magnum,
so much
unlike the
better
basic
bringing
handgun
it
with its
they
slower
for
rate of fire,
sure.
is meant to be fired in a more measured,
Definitely.
calculated way, dealing catastrophic damage to your target. Earlier
I
versions of the Magnum
completely
had a bit of
agree.
random dispersion, which we felt fit the heft and the less sensitive trigger pull of a larger pistol. However, this led to anticlimactic moments where players would carefully line up a shot only to miss due to the accuracy penalty. To address this, we made the first bullet perfectly
They did a
accurate,
good job with the
each
25th
subsequent shot
anniversary,
becoming
though,
less
for Half-Life 1, I thought. Making it more modern, but still the same graphics as the original. In terms of, like, UI and, like, you know, modernizing the game for modern systems. This plays amazing on... This plays amazingly well on Steam Deck now in terms of like controls. They fixed the controls for controller and they added an aim assist, like aim snapping. And it's like way better now with controller. It's like totally more playable on Steam Deck. I was playing a bit last night before bed. SMG sound is one of my favorite rapid-fire gun sounds. It's got such a fucking punch. For sure, dude. Holy shit. It's one of my favorites, too. One of my favorite guns in any video game. Half-Life
357 intro.
Oh, and I'm still here!
The Magnum, unlike
Damn
the
it.
basic handgun with its slower rate of fire, is meant to be fired in a more measured, calculated way, dealing...
I already listened to these. I hate this room so much. I always have. Oh my god.
357 intro. The Magnum, unlike the basic handgun with its slower rate of fire...
I'm just gonna save scum it. I hate this room! I hate it, y'all! I fucking hate it! had a notification. What is it? Come on, man. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry, dude. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna fucking cry. I'm gonna cry like a baby. That's how you can say that much. Holy shit. Oh my god, dude. Move, 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 move. Oh my god. Good idea. I'm gonna try that. I am a dumbass. I need all the help I can get. I appreciate it. There goes the man hacks. Okay, I got the idea now. I'm gonna just do that. Aim worth shit. Let's go back for some health. Oh my god. Like a baby, well now you have. Holy shit, did I do it? Oh my god. There's none left. Holy shit. I made proggies. I made that sweet, sweet proggies. Hell yeah. I've always struggled with that part too. Makes this part much easier. And then the sweet, sweet release of Suit Juice. Wait. Wait, hold up. Am I going the right way? I think I forgot something. Hold on. I'm supposed to go up here.
Mounted gun. The mounted guns were added here to help train the player on the gun's effectiveness against the attack helicopter for the final battle in the reservoir. This was necessary because up to this point, the helicopter was invulnerable to the player's weapons, and we had to give some indication that it could be harmed with larger weaponry. This was only somewhat effective in playtest due to the amount of pressure the player was under at the moment, which led us to developing the particle effects and sounds that would sell to the players that they were really doing damage.
Oh, that's cool. There we go. That's what I forgot to do. Duh. One of my favorite parts of the entire game right here. Whee! That one turn right there is one of my favorite parts of the whole game. When you're on the ramp and you're turning, so good. Oh my god. You know, frickin'. Full 180 there. Oh, I missed it. Take it out.
Helicopter bombing run. This is another example of us creating movement hazards while driving the airboat. The helicopter attempts to stay in front of the player when dropping bombs, and if the player backtracks, it switches to hovering and turns to attacking the player. In one playtest, a bomb just so happened to drop between the pipe seams, creating a pretty cinematic moment. The playtester had a positive reaction, so the team decided to script it so it happened every time. This process has become part of our organic design process. Every so often, a cool thing randomly happens in a playtest, and we find a way to make it happen more reliably.
shit. We're good, we're good. One of these to be open. That's what I'm looking for. Because there's an achievement that to go through one of them. And I can't remember where it is. There's like a Vortigon you have to talk to or something. Ow. Ow. Holy crap. Ow. Oh shit. Okay, we're good. Can I go up here? Oh, we got a little thingy here.
Smokestack collapse. When making a cinematic action game like the first Half-Life, we'd always want...
Oops.
Smokestack collapse. When making a cinematic action game like the first Half-Life, we'd always wanted to make some big, spectacular destruction sequence, but we were never quite able to do anything like that. Half-Life 2's physics introduced a system for breaking physics small objects, such as crates, into pieces, which provoked the idea of doing something much bigger. We took a leap and tried breaking a smokestack into pieces as it fell. So we experimented with the masses until it felt better, refined the model, and added lots of smoke and audio to sell the effect. And there we had it. We had our big spectacular destruction moment. Ultimately, our physics made the sequence just barely possible in a way that maybe seems quaint by modern standards, but felt really awesome at the time. Because the simulation was unique every time we ran it, we had to take steps to avoid completely blocking the player's path with the big chunks of debris. The success of this sequence whet our appetites for the much higher fidelity cinematic physics destruction effects next seen in episode 2.
That's really cool. That is really dope. I love that. I'm gonna turn down the game audio. I think it might be a little bit hot. Turn it down a little bit for y'all. And here we go with the washing machine puzzle.
Displacements 1. After Half-Life 1 shipped, our level designers and artists wanted a better solution for outdoor environments, so we built the first version of our terrain system. It was based on subdivided quads. To visualize this, Imagine a flat square divided into a grid, where each point on the grid can be moved up or down. Level designers could lay out multiple squares and then use a paintbrush tool to shape hills and valleys by adjusting the grid points.
Oh, that's cool.
For rendering, we used a special blended texture, which combined two different textures. Each grid point specified how much of each texture to use, allowing smooth transitions between surfaces like sand, grass, dirt, and gravel. This type of terrain system wasn't unusual in game engines at the time, and we naively thought it would be enough for our game designers. Displacements, 2. Once the initial terrain system was up and running, we expected level designers to use it for outdoor spaces. Instead, they began experimenting, adding detail in unexpected places. They used the subdivided quads on the top of walls to create ruined edges, rounded off street curbs, and even attempted to make pipes. This met with varying success since the terrain system was designed for landscapes, not architectural detail. So we returned to the code mines, transforming the height-based terrain system into a fully 3D displacement system. Now, instead of only moving grid points up and down, designers could move them in any direction. This allowed them to add extra detail to all kinds of surfaces using blended textures.
Oh,
to
that's
smooth
why my
transitions between
keyboard
the
was picking
displacement
up
quads
all
and the
my,
BSP
or my mic
geometry.
was picking up all my keyboard.
However, this required additional
My
tech work
noise
to ensure
filter wasn't
consistent
turned
lighting
on.
between the two renderers, or those edges would have been noticeably mismatched.
That makes sense.
But with
That
all
makes
this
a lot more
done,
sense.
the level designers seemed satisfied, and we naively thought that this time it really would be enough.
That, I don't know how that got turned off. That's really weird. Really bizarre, but oh well. Oh shit. Hooey.
Displacements, 3. With the general displacement system in hand, level designers didn't stop at adding detail to the world and returned to their original goals of building large-scale outdoor sections. This led to another round of updates to balance performance, ensuring the system could handle both fine detail and larger ground terrain. Texturing had to improve as well, especially to support complex structures like overhanging cliffs that weren't possible with the original height-based system. Designers, never one to rest on their laurels, also started using displacements to create caves and tunnels. While these additions looked great, they required even more technical adjustment. Eventually, we managed to wrangle the competing requirements of all the ways that displacements were being used, and they shipped in large sections of our game world. Looking back, displacements are a clear example of how technology and game design evolve together. It's a chicken and egg problem. We can't foresee all the ways a piece of tech will impact the game, but we also can't build the tech without knowing what it needs to accomplish. So, as is always the case, we have to build something. We start with a solid guess and see where it leads us.
Washing machine puzzle. We created the washing machine physics puzzle late in development, after playtesting indicated that players needed some downtime from the relentless pressure from the helicopter. Pacing contrasts like this can accentuate the high moments by resetting the player's emotional state and warding off exhaustion or even boredom. It was a positive sign that players reacted so strongly to all the work done to make the helicopter truly menacing. But if we didn't manage the stress of it, fatigue set in, which quickly started to feel like monotony rather than excitement. Originally, players quickly drove through this area, but because of the nice sunlight and composition of the canal here, we decided it was a good spot to pause the action and have the player spend some quiet time solving a puzzle. The puzzle itself, which was the first to use masses and pulleys, ended up giving rise to other physics navigation puzzles elsewhere in the game.
Greetings to the free.
Rest in peace, Tony
Come on in.
Todd.
I'll show you what you're up against.
Gestures. Each of our characters had a library of simple animations called gestures, which we could easily layer on top of other body movements. While originally planned as a production savings to allow us to reuse animations throughout the game, we found they actually had more utility than that. Humans often repeat certain movements, and these can be markers of a specific personality. As a result, our gestures library ended up capturing the essence of each character, helping to unify our animation team's understanding of who those characters were. This made it much easier for our animators to share any one character's workload among themselves, which production often required.
Thank you, Vortigaunt. I appreciate you, dog.
That gun came off one of the same 100 choppers that you're up against. I always like to bring a little irony to a firefight. Take that chopper down, and you should be able to tear on through to Eli's place.
Hell yeah.
The Freeman will accept this weapon or suffer greatly on the road ahead.
I will accept the weapon.
Airboat changeup. We heard from the playtesters that they wanted more varied gameplay from the airboat. Up until this point of the game, the player had no real way to fight back against the helicopter and other enemies, so it felt right to
classic game for sure, Grungy. It's 20-year birthday today. Came out 20 years ago today. They added a huge update to the game that added commentary to the base game.
Would get sent flying and make it feel way more powerful than anything.
And like the episodes are no longer on Steam. They're included with the main Half-Life 2, and they're in Half-Life 2 itself. Tons of updates to the game.
To get over this, we did the most obvious thing.
And Danny O'Dwyer of NoClip put out a documentary for Valve yesterday, a 2-hour documentary for the game.
And it worked.
That Valve published on their YouTube channel. Is that something Gabe talking about Half-Life 3? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's a good time to be a Half-Life fan, that's for sure. It's like we're living the early 2010s all over again, in terms of Half-Life 3 rumors. Yeah, I know this achievement is somewhere. I think I'm getting close to it. He was talking about how he was upset with himself for not figuring it out and just seems to want to leave it be. If you finish Half-Life Alyx, Half-Life Alyx ends on a cliffhanger itself.
Time of day.
And I don't know, there's no way they would make Half-Life Alyx have a cliffhanger if they're not making another game.
Represent the passage of time as the player journeys through the canals and the chapter. Two fog color values in opposite directions help sell the illusion of the oblique angle of the sun. You can see it getting closer to sunset by this point. This culminates in the helicopter combat arena with the sun setting.
I took it the complete opposite. I felt like they were basically winking at the camera saying, yeah, we're making Half-Life 3. But who knows, really? What Valve has canceled many games before, including Half-Life 3. Yeah, and I know, right? Half-Life was like so ahead of its time.
A Half-Life game is an ultimately linear experience, but we're always looking for ways to break up the player path and create nonlinearity at level scale. This lambda cache, replaced with a zombie and headcrab ambush, was entirely optional and built only to add some of that nonlinearity to this section of travel through the canals.
Oh, fuck me. I might load my saves. No, that's a way too far back save. Hold on. Wait, is that the only save I got? Are you fucking serious, dude? Oh, that was like 2 minutes ago. Never mind. Thanks? Wait, when was that? No, that's not the save. There we go. That's the save. I was gonna say, that was like 20 minutes ago. How's your day going, Grungy? Hope you're having a good day. Oh, come on.
Donkey Kong Barrel Ramp.
Donkey Kong.
This particular area, the drainage ramp, originally started as just an interesting piece
Alright,
of
just
level architecture.
putting in stickers.
But during
Nice.
playtesting,
I gotta do the
we saw
same
how fun
soon.
it was to slide the airboat up and around the slope.
Love
so we added
Christmas.
more elements to enhance that experience. This included Metro Cops dropping barrels down toward the player, and a little nod to the classic arcade game, Donkey Kong.
The classic arcade game, Donkey Kong. Shit, I might need to load. I always like get confused in this part for some reason. I don't know why. This part kind of throws me through a loop a little bit. There we go. Okay, there's gotta be this achievement somewhere. The one that I'm looking for, called Bordakov. And I know it's around here somewhere. Have a good alert, Grungy.
Helicopter Megabomb Origin. The Megabomb helicopter attack was based on a bug where a programmer accidentally removed the bomb drop cooldown, resulting in the chopper dropping hundreds of bombs all at once. It looked so cool that we decided that we had to keep it for the final shipping bombing run attack. Hell yeah. I think I may have missed the achievement already. I gotta pee again, BRB.
And I am back.
Arena exit gate. The wheel mechanism to raise the exit gate was added specifically to force the player to defeat the helicopter before they can move forward. We often refer to elements like this as gating the player, using design elements to keep them from progressing until they've completed a necessary task. Here, it's quite literally a gate.
That's so funny. That's crazy. Oh, there it is. I think that's the entrance. I think. I know there's an achievement near here, and it looks like that. The entrance looks like that. I'm gonna look this up. Oh, you just go up to it and jump. I think, if I'm in the right area. Oh, there we go. Oh, I don't have enough health. I need more health, shit. I'm gonna save here and look for some health. Oh my god. There we go, now we can get ourselves some health. And I can finally get this achievement. We'll listen to this commentary track while we do it.
Helicopter Final Battle. We designed this area as the arena for the final showdown between the player and the Combine attack helicopter. It's the player's chance to finally eliminate the relentless enemy that's been hunting them since fleeing underground after leaving Kleiner's lab. This area went through many iterations to get right. It needed ample space for fast-paced vehicle combat, a smooth movement flow with clear path options, and reliable performance. We also aimed for visual clarity suited to combat, striking but not overly noisy, while ensuring it would serve as a memorable vista once the helicopter is destroyed.
That's amazing. How do I get the achievement? Let's see. I think you get it when you leave. That's hilarious. Oh my god, that's so funny. I've never seen that until now. I didn't even know about that because I never really replayed this. That's amazing. But I didn't get the achievement. What the hell? I didn't get the achievement. Maybe because I was listening to the commentary node and it just glitched out? Try going without the commentary node.
We remember the free man. We are coterminous. There is no distance between us. No false veils of time or space may intervene. We see you still in Black Mesa. Clearly we see you in the Nailance chamber. We bear witness to the bright eternity of the Nailance demise. You leap, you fall, we see you flash between the barriers. For a brief time you joined us, you are one between the worlds. Communion of the vortescence, and that other, a deeper mystery, no deeper than the void itself. We cannot forget those whose cords you cut. Forgiveness is not ours to bestow. Unity of purpose, the shattering of common shackles, a single road we tread. Your song we sing and shall sing for eternity, no matter the consequences of this struggle. You have brought us grief and jubilation beyond measure. We are there still in observance of your final stroke. While our own lay scattered at your feet, you severed the vocal cord that bound the Nailance to life and to us. That sharp spur of hope has not dulled to this day. For once the lesser master lay defeated, we knew the greater must also fall in time. With you besides us, a talisman of victory, the day of freedom draws nigh. Your bright face obscures your darker mask. We call you Sib, although your mind and meaning are a mystery to us. Far distant eyes look out through your...
Bro's a yapper. I just want to make sure I'm doing this right.
We are still here. We have survived worse across the ages. Something secret steers us both. We shall not name it. We have endured these chafing bonds for eons, yet a single moment of further servitude seems intolerable. How often have we slipped our yoke only to find it choking us again? Let this war end in either total victory or our extinction. No further compromise shall we allow. Our finest poet describes it thus. Garambakalilaba. We take our stand beside you here upon this miserable rock.
Yeah, I think I got it. Why isn't it unlocking? I'm so confused. I'm just watching this video real quick. Yeah, the achievement's bugged. It won't unlock. That's so weird. I just looked at a video and that's so weird that it's not unlocking.
We remember the free man. We are coterminous. There is no distance between us. No false veils of time or space may intervene. Our cause seems hopeless.
Well, I guess that achievement's bugged. That's a bummer. Oh well. I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. I forgot I have to actually get it open. That might help. Oh yeah, duh. There we go. Black Mesa East.
Airboat wreckage. Originally, we destroyed the airboat in the jump over the dam. So this level opened with the player amidst the wreckage of their beloved airboat.
Oh shit!
In a team-wide playtest, people felt disappointed to lose the vehicle they had spent so much time in. There was a lot of internal debate about whether that feeling of loss was a valuable experience or not. Ultimately, we decided to leave the airboat intact to allow for the possibility of the player reuniting with it someday. Some say that airboat is still out there, waiting for you.
Yo! Come on, Valve. How could you do this to us? I swear to God, how could you do this to us? Those bastards, man. They're just playing with our emotions.
Alex and Mossman. In our early plans for Half-Life 2's narrative, we wanted to take on the challenge of doing something less explicitly game-focused. Not just a story about the obviously good player defeating the obviously evil enemies. Instead, we aimed to focus on characters and their relationships. We thought it would be interesting to explore family as a central dynamic unit of Half-Life 2. The tension between Alex and Mossman emerged from that idea, and we liked it because it felt relatable, something players could understand and empathize with.
I do so envy you working with Eli and Dr. Kleiner when they are at the top of their field. Ah, there we go. You can come through now. I'll take you down to Eli right away. He would never forgive me if I kept you waiting. We could certainly use the extra help around here. We've covered a lot of ground the last few months, but things would go so much faster if we had more people with your training. We're closing in on reliable local teleport technology, something the Combine still hasn't mastered. Eli thinks their portals are string-based, similar to our Calabi-Yau model, but they've failed to factor in the dark energy equations. They can tunnel through from their universe, but once they're here, they're dependent on local transportation. If they knew what we were doing with entanglement... Oh. Listen to me, I sound like a postdoc. I'm just so excited to think that we'll finally have the chance to work together. Where was I? Oh, yes. Dr. Kleiner compressed the Zen relay far beyond anything he imagined in Black Mesa. We figured out how to use Zen as an unexpressed axis. Effectively a dimensional slingshot.
It's a chef!
So we can swing around the border world and come back in local space without having to face Earth. Oh, here's Eli now.
All right, good. You keep right up.
Eli's lab. We built Eli's lab after Dr. Kleiner's, which gave us a better understanding of how to set up and design effective choreo scenes. As a result, we were able to create a more complex scenario with more opportunities for it to respond to the player. Having multiple characters doing their own thing around the room made staging tricky, and it took a lot of iteration and playtesting to get it to run smoothly. Our experience showed that, generally, players wanted to play along with the scene. They just needed enough subtle clues to know where we wanted them. Similarly, if they got distracted, the scene had to gently pause and wait for them to return.
Some work, and I'll see what I can dig up. Dr. Freeman, it's been a real honor. I'm looking forward to working together.
Feel free to look around.
Feel free to look around. Balancing the player's desire to explore with the narrative goals of the scene was always a challenge. We wanted the room to be full of interesting things to look at, but many players wouldn't explore until they were sure they wouldn't miss any of the character performances. That's why it was important for Eli to tell the player to look around midway through the scene. It signaled that it was safe to explore. From there, we could trigger a variety of custom mini-scenes based on what caught the player's interest.
Oh, Gordon! The Vortigaunt said you were here. I can't believe you made it so quickly on foot.
I believe he broke your record, honey.
Well, he earned it. I guess you proved you can handle yourself out there.
There's nothing Gordon can't handle, with the possible exception of you.
Dad, please.
Hugs and pickups. Sometimes even little things can be a nightmare to get working. For example, getting a character to hug another character, or even more simply, just to pick up an object from a table, can cause a lot of issues. Even worse, in our dynamic environment, where the characters and objects aren't in preset positions, and the players running around getting in the way, these require a level of synchronization that can be quite tricky. They're made harder because humans handle them without thinking. As you're moving to the table to pick up a cup, you're doing all kinds of preparation with your body to get your feet and hands in the right position to allow to do it comfortably, everything ready right when you get there. If you're moving in to hug somebody, you're both doing it at the same time, adjusting constantly based on each other's movement. To get these features to work in the game involved a lot of synchronization work, making characters aware of each other and the world, and at the same time, getting them to know more about their future plans. It's tempting to want to break up, pick up a cup example into discrete steps. Walk to the table, face cup, pick up a cup, because it's much simpler that way, and it makes the steps nicely reusable. But that's how robots work, not humans. Our characters had to know they were moving to a table with the intention to pick up a cup, so they could work on multiple parts of it simultaneously, making sure their hand grabs the cup right when they get there. With two characters, it's even more of a negotiation. Both need to agree where and when it's going to happen, and everything needs to happen in place in a seamless fashion. While these moments of simple interaction with their characters in the world are often short, they were critical to making them seem like believable people.
We want to put this dense chunk of visual story here because it's the place the game is most explicit at telling players to explore a space. Even though its primary job is world building, we still take strides to highlight the relationship between Eli and Breen, giving context to the world's central conflict.
So I see you met Dr. Mossman. She's one of the main reasons I spend so much time outside.
Mossman. Judith Mossman was originally based on a character we had planned for a section of Half-Life 1. That section was cut from the base game and reused in Uplink, but without the character. We consider her the most complex character in Half-Life 2. We knew we'd be walking a tightrope with how the player felt about her even before Nova Prospect, because the player's trusted sources don't agree. Eli likes her, but Alex doesn't. We recognized there was a limit to how much complexity we could pull off in relationships, but we felt that a stepmother-daughter dynamic was something players would understand. Whether or not you agree with Mossman, she's doing something heroic. She risks being a double agent to get the information she needs to protect Eli and Alex. She just didn't plan for Gordon.
Gravity gun time. There's an achievement here too, I think. Let's see, that I don't have. HEV suits, charger, faceplate, and Eli scrapyard.
Eye shader. Another critical part of getting character faces to be convincing was in the eyes. Humans are great at reading eyes. There's a part of your brain dedicated to it.
The gravity
down to knowing where
gun.
somebody's looking based on the reflections
Love
on
the gravity
eyeballs.
gun.
But
Classic
there are all
weapon.
kinds of subtleties that matter. Eyes aren't actually spheres. Eyelids get distorted by the cornea moving around underneath. Eye movement can increase the odds of blinking. Eyes don't actually line up directly behind the pupil. They're shifted slightly. All these little details might feel small or unnoticeable, but the absence hurts the believability of the character. We worked on eyes for a long time, iterating our eyeball model and feature set little by little. Some things required external interfaces, like what things in the environment were interesting to look at, where others were automatic, at a subconscious level in the AI, like blinking, an obvious requirement, but one that's subtly confusing if it's wrong. Eye reflections had a particularly large impact. They're ultimately a tiny amount of real estate on the screen, but the difference they made was enormous. We knew we were finally done when we reached the point where, with our eye shader off, a character looked like a doll, human-like, but unconvincing in some way that was hard to describe. But when we turned it on, suddenly it felt like a human was looking at us. Facial technology. We wanted players to care about our characters, and to even have a chance at achieving that, we knew we had to invest a lot of technology for our characters' faces. It's well understood that humans are wired to pay attention to faces, subconsciously reading all kinds of information from them, so it's an extremely high bar, and if we couldn't reach it, we'd probably push players away from our characters, not towards them as we hoped. We started out doing a lot of research. It was not heartening. The best examples we could find weren't anywhere near close to being able to be run in real time, while the best real-time ones weren't close to the quality we wanted. We wanted to look as good as an animated movie, but they often took hours to render frames and were totally linear, authored by up to 100 animators, whereas ours had to be dynamic. A character might be trying to speak dialogue or a facial move derived from a player's actions and created by just a handful of artists. These requirements eventually led us to Dr. Paul Ekman's facial acting coding system, a system for taxonomizing human facial movements done back in the 1970s. It gave us a vocabulary for describing facial movements throughout our tools and code, and a target to aim for when designing our characters' faces. With it as a framework, we started a many-year process of iterating on how we built faces and heads of our characters. Where others had tried taking bits of Ekman's work, we wanted to try to use it all. That meant a lot of time spent figuring out how to do each piece within the tight performance constraints we had. But we also spent a lot of time just looking at people and faces, trying to find the extra features that would add the most value, like skin elasticity, teeth shadowing. In the end, while we weren't able to do everything we wanted, we did manage to get the pieces we thought were the most important to a convincing facial performance level on our characters.
Try grabbing those.
Character lighting. In the first year of development, we were struggling to get our characters to feel as realistic as we wanted them to. There were actually quite a number of different problems, all of which eventually required specific technological and artistic improvements to fix. The first major problem was lighting. At the time, lighting technology in games had many shortcuts, some due to performance, but many due to misunderstandings of how it all works. To make characters look good at the time, models and textures had to be created with much of their lighting solution baked into them, like shadows and glossiness. The characters looked cool, but they also looked like video game characters. We started building Alex with this approach, because that was how you were supposed to do it. We used the bake solutions and lit her like a movie actor, essentially as if she had a custom lighting rig that followed her around and ensured she always looked good. But it didn't really work. The range of lighting environments and the dynamic nature of video games meant that she'd look great in some environments, but always end up looking terribly unrealistic at some point. We tried iterating on our lighting rig, increasing its capabilities, but eventually it felt like we were at a dead end. Returning to the drawing
Wait, I wonder if
board,
achievements
we decided
don't
to try a
work
different
on
approach.
when you're
We built her and the lighting and the textures from the ground up, throwing everything
when
away,
you're in
focusing on not one-on-one.
commentary mode. Wonder if that's why it's not working.
We wanted her to look like an ideal lighting, but on how things were supposed to work in the real world. It might seem obvious, but it wasn't how it was done, at least not in video games. When looked at outside the game's renderer, these models and textures actually looked worse than the previous versions, but we managed to methodically pull out all the shortcuts and misconceptions about how light and texture and graphics cards worked and put it all back together. After all that was done, when we were finally able to look at Alex in-game with her new models and textures in a dynamic environment that kept her visually consistent at all times, well, she looked great. Totally seamless and part of the Half-Life 2 world.
Try grabbing those barrels from that ledge up there. All right.
Freeman? What's up, Days? How are you doing?
See if you can stack some stuff to climb up here. Try stacking some things. Grab something with your secondary trigger, then press the same trigger again to drop it gently. All right.
Moving the gravity gun. When the gravity gun was first prototyped, we planned to give it to the player midway through the game. But as playtesting progressed, we saw the strength of its design and realized the gravity gun, and more importantly, the ability to launch saw blades at zombie faces, needed to come earlier. That meant Eli's lab also needed to move earlier too. It was a significant change, but it was crucial to Half-Life 2's success. It serves as a good reminder that storytelling and gameplay are intertwined, and neither can always take priority. They have to work together.
My dad built him to protect me when I was a kid. First model was about yay high. I've been adding to him ever since. Haven't I, boy? Okay, dog, let's play catch with Gordon. You'll need to use the gravity gun. Go ahead, dog. Throw! Throw another, dog.
Not much, Days. Just playing the anniversary update for Half-Life 2. They added commentary to the game, which I think is pretty cool. Apparently there was never commentary for 2, but there was for episode 1 and 2. But they added it to base 2. And episode 1 and 2 are now part of 2. And they improved the graphics as well.
Excellent. Dog, go get your ball.
There's a really good documentary on Valve's YouTube page that was made by Daniel Dwyer's NoClip side project Secret Tape for Valve about Half-Life 2. It's really good. It's a very good documentary. I think it's the best thing NoClip's ever done. Yeah, I thought it was really good. Yay! We scarred.
Risk. Looking back on Half-Life 2 now, 20 years later, it's sobering to reflect on how terrifying it was throughout much of the development. Game development is hard. You never really get what you'd like to have, which is be able to validate risk before you start to pile more on top of it. For example, our facial animation technology, it took probably 3 or 4 years of work before we were confident it was actually going to work. But we couldn't wait until then. In that first year, we immediately started making all kinds of other choices in our game design, our asset production, and our other technologies, all based on the assumption that our facial animation technology was going to work in the end, from a quality and performance standpoint. If it hadn't, many of those other choices wouldn't have worked either. At the same risk profile is true of other large choices we made early on. We can't wait. We just have to build and hope that our guesses will be true years from now. Terrifying.
Scare scanners! Combine sweeping the area! We've gotta head back to the Gordon.
Yeah, he was posting about that. I saw as well, Days. Is it a days off gaming or is it a days on gaming today?
Where are you, Alex?
We're in the scrapyard airlock, stuck in a full auto cycle.
Is Gordon still with you?
He's right here.
Good. I want you two to...
Dad?
Take Gordon out of here. Head for the coast. Do not go through Raven...
Dad?
Do not go to Ravenholm.
That's enough, dog. Come on, Gordon.
It's a day we shall see. Gotcha. The day we shall see.
Gordon, you need to get out of here. I can't leave my father. Dog, take Gordon to the Ravenholm tunnel, then circle around and try to meet up with me. Hurry!
Ravenholm, is that where Birdie lives? Almost spelled that way. But yes, that is where Birdie lives, at Ravenholm. We don't go to Ravenholm.
As we finished up our work on Ravenholm, we couldn't shake the feeling that the transition from Eli's lab just wasn't working. It was far too abrupt. Eli's lab connected directly to the streets of the town where you'll be shortly, and the section you're standing in didn't exist. We had just made this promise at the end of Eli's lab: we don't go there anymore, and we liked the overall build-up we'd created. But when the player got to Ravenholm, they were immediately dropped into combat with zombies without any room for tension building. So we built this section and the subsequent tight corridors to address that in a way we were happy with. We slowed the pacing, focused on art and lighting, and got you ready to experience why we don't go to Ravenholm anymore.
Me too, Days. It's such a classic. It was so good. Definitely.
Ravenholm gameplay focus.
And just like the gravity
After
gun
watching
mechanics
many
in
playtests
this
of
area.
Ravenholm, we knew the core gameplay of the level revolved around the gravity gun and physics. Once equipped with that knowledge, we felt we could appropriately build the transition into Ravenholm and help the player learn and understand a bit about what the upcoming experience would be. This happens often. We build the level track, figure out what's working, and then design its prologue. We built the following set of rooms with that table setting in mind. The brutality of the tools we provide the player seemed to aid in setting the mood we were striving for, helping to shift the tone from the safety of Eli's lab to something darker and more frightening.
Bringing physics to the enemies. The physics traps in Ravenholm were some of the first gameplay elements in the level that we were really happy with, but they lacked player agency. It was the saw blades that helped us figure out what Ravenholm was truly about. With saw blades, the player was able to bring physics to the zombies instead of leading zombies into the physics. Once we had that understanding, Ravenholm evolved rapidly. We kept combing through the map, looking for anything, especially anything unusual, that could be turned into a tool or weapon for the player.
Player tool.
What the fuck? Did I just find a glitch? Whoa, that was weird. I pressed E after dropping that? That's a glitch. Speedrun strats. Wait, what the fuck? That's crazy.
Bringing physics to the enemies.
I got that. I heard that.
Player tools. By this point in the game, players
Heard
have a lot of
that.
experience with Half-Life 2.
Contrived setups. There's a pretty obvious contrivance in a bunch of the gravity gun and physics object training. The player pulls a saw blade out of the wall with the gravity gun, and right on cue, a zombie stumbles around the corner, just begging to have a saw blade launched at it. Then the player crawls under a spinning blade trap to turn it off, and suddenly 3 zombies appear, taunting the player to switch the trap back on. We didn't have much time to iterate on this section, so we needed setups that worked for all players, not more open-ended ones that relied on them making the right move. While this kind of design has the potential to reduce players' creativity, in this case, we found that they didn't seem to mind that we forced their hand a little bit.
Paint cans. Once we started to succeed at making the gravity gun and physics gameplay the core of the Ravenholm experience, we started to go through the levels and look for objects that we might have overlooked as we were busy working with the really aggressive things like saw blades and exploding canisters. One of the things we found was the paint can, and it was simple enough for us to sort of reinforce player expectations by having the paint can splatter paint on the zombies when you threw one at them.
I never even noticed that before. That's really cool. Man, the attention to detail in this game is just second to none. I mean, that's not what I meant to say. It's really good. Really good. Second to none means it's really good. I thought so. I'm just overthinking everything, because I'm an overthinker.
Ravenholm's development. We began developing Ravenholm early in the production of Half-Life 2, so it went through more than one full development pass. The first version predated the gravity gun, with gameplay focused on traditional zombie combat using guns and some of the physics traps. We even planned to showcase Ravenholm at E3 in 2002, but the game was ultimately unveiled a year later in 2003. By that point, we had invested heavily in Ravenholm's art, something which we generally avoid until the gameplay is fully proven. So once we went back to Ravenholm with the gravity gun mechanic in mind, we were working with a lot of pre-existing level geometry that had been designed with a very different gameplay goal in mind.
Like dust before the wind.
Oh shit, I shot myself in half. Fuck, I did it again. Oh my goodness.
Misteaching flinches. Another memorable playtest and example of the danger of misteaching players occurred in Ravenholm. One of our design principles is for the game to respond to the player as much as possible. So when designing the gravity gun, it seemed obvious that if the player pointed it at a zombie and pulled the trigger, something should happen.
Grigori Plaza. This open plaza is one of the areas that was fully detailed in our first development pass. When we returned to it, we wanted to preserve as much of the existing art as possible while designing a new player path that used all 3 dimensions, moving players up and down, through windows, across rooftops, and between buildings. It wasn't a large space, so we had to...
Hold on, I'm getting a phone call. I indeed got a phone call. And I think I might actually have to wrap it up because I gotta get some food in me because I'm starving to death. Not actually dying, but you know what I mean. I am pretty hungry. I've been live for 2 hours and 42 minutes, which is a long time for me. But we're gonna be streaming as much as we can nowadays, and all that. Happy birthday, Half-Life 2. Definite happy birthday to Half-Life 2, for sure. Amazing game. One of the greatest games I've ever played. One of my all-time favorite games ever made in the history of video games. Of video gaming, of, you know what I mean. I'm gonna look up... Why am I going on YouTube? I'm not a YouTube streamer. Hold on. Gonna look on Twitch real fast, like... I think I'm gonna skip rating today. But, yeah. I'll see you guys, next time, and all that fun stuff. Yeah. Bye, everybody.